Welcome to Spintown, everyone. I'm over on Scottland Studios in my private little build area, and I'm making a video today for two reasons. Number one, to show off what I've been working on, and number two, to address something that Zach Scott did the other day. Now, that's not the hub over in Scottland Studios. That's just the build hub. So if you're in the hub right now and you want to look off to the edge and see if you can see where I'm building, you can't do it. That's the area the administrators and builders work on, I guess, and then when they finish something they transfer it over to the other hub. So yeah, there's nobody over there. But now, the first thing I'll actually come back to the parkour that I've been working on. That we'll get that second. We'll address the Zach Scott thing first. If you follow Zach on Twitter, and you should, link below if you want to, he tweeted out a link the other day, and the link went to a video that Jonathan Mann had uploaded. And the video was a song of Jonathan mocking my colorblindness. Now, I do not hold Jonathan accountable for this song, or the topic of the song at all, because this song was commissioned by Mr. Zach Scott. Now, Zach Scott loves to mock, disabilities and handicaps that people have. It's one of his favorite pastimes. And he's been doing the mocking of the colorblind thing for a long time now. It's been probably 3 years or so, I would guess. At least a round figure, it'd be about 3 years. But, I have to admit, this was the most creative way I've seen anybody do it so far. So, big props to Zach Scott and big props to Jonathan Mann on doing a great job with the song. Now, how do I retaliate? I do plan on retaliating. But I don't know how yet and when, but I will. Now, if you won't have any suggestions, I want you to leave them in the comments below. How can I pay Zach back for this act? And, for you, those of you who get offended easily and who like to get offended for other people, stop it. Okay? Me and Zach are friends. The colorblind jokes don't bother me at all. If they bothered me, Zach wouldn't do it, and, I would be offended for myself. I don't need other people to get offended for me. And I've seen people who seem to be actually mad about some of the comments that Zach has made in the past, and it's like, shut up. I can, fend for myself, okay? I appreciate the sentiment, but it's not needed and it's unwanted in this particular case, The colorblind jokes don't bother me. I'm not even fully colorblind. I've discussed this in many videos of Zach's and my own, and the way I always describe it is I'm red-green colorblind for the most part, and I can see all the colors in the rainbow, but like during autumn when the leaves are changing colors, the leaves, I'm going to see one shade of green or whatever. I'm not going to see all the variations in the leaves that everybody else does all the time. So that's my affliction. It's not all that bad. If that's the worst handicap I have to deal with in my life, I'm going to consider myself extremely lucky. So ideas for how to pay Zach back in the description below. Go subscribe to Jonathan and Zach if you haven't already, and watch the video for sure. Now, done with that topic, on to the parkour. For those of you who have been wanting to teleport to me, this is what I've been working on. You're going to see that it's 80% straight from the American Gladiators course. I modified some of the things that I copied over a little bit, not a whole lot. It's pretty much a straight up copy, except, in American Gladiators course, the course goes upward the entire time. This pretty much just goes in a straight line. It goes up and down a little bit, but it's meant just to go straight off into the void. And the stuff I decided to copy from the American Gladiators course was the stuff that didn't have a lot of redstone, didn't require people to use a bunch of materials or stuff that needed to be reset, because there's going to be a lot of people using this maybe all at once, and there's not going to be someone going around filling up chests and turning on switches so people can do certain things. They got to be able to do it on their own, so I got to leave the complicated stuff out. It's for the most part just straight up parkour. One thing you're going to notice that's a little bit different than on the Gladiators course in Scotland is when you come to an end of an obstacle, there would be a sign in Scotland that said save state. You don't have that here. What you have is these little pads with a yellow piece of wool in the middle. when Mitch is done, this yellow wool is just going to be a pressure plate, and you'll come over here and step on it after completing an obstacle, and that will set your home right there. So that's the plan. Last time I talked to Mitch, he hasn't done that yet because he's been traveling, and I told Mitch and Zach that I was done building the course already, like 2 or 3 days ago, but you know, because I got bored a few times and Mitch hasn't been able to use this yet or finish it because he's been traveling, I added more stuff to it. So it's going to be a little longer than they might have expected, and definitely longer than I had originally planned. And it might get longer yet. It just depends on how long it takes Mitch to get back and to actually do something with this, because a lot of times when I do get bored, that's kind of what I do, is I just start like tinkering with the different blocks and trying to make some new parkour or something like that. When I don't want to do something really time intensive, you know, that's going to take up a whole lot of my day or something like that. I just sit here and tinker around trying to make some decent jumps, or something that might cause somebody to be tricked or fooled in some way. So yeah, right now this is the end of it. I don't know what Zach and Mitch's plan to put at the end of it. If they tell me what they want there, I'll build it. They might build it themselves, and it might be a surprise to me as well. But yeah, when it's finally copied over into the hub, if it isn't copied over into the hub or somewhere else at some point, I don't really think anybody's going to be able to do this without dying at least, a dozen or so times. And that's why we have the save states. If you want to try to do it without save states, I would be very impressed. If you tweet me a picture of you standing at the finish line and you say, "Hey Spin, this was easy, I didn't use any save states," I'm not going to believe you. I am not going to believe you for a second. You're going to have video, not just a screenshot of you doing the entire thing before I believe that. But I would be curious to see how far somebody can get without dying. I know how far I've gotten without dying, and it's probably only about 1/10 of the course. It might be a little bit longer than that. But, so, yeah, I'm very curious to see how you guys do on this when it's finally done and up and ready for you guys to use in Scottland Studios. So that's it for today's video. I covered the 2 topics I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and goodbye. Thanks again for watching, but don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos of me killing Elmac, just like this little clip.
Damn it, he's got regeneration. I can't kill him.
Ha ha ha! Slain by Spintown, and then I die in the wall again.